So you usually trade around an hour and then just quit?
Um, no, usually I'll be trading for another hour or two.
Yeah.
I'm just done for today for the most part.
Did it end up being a good day today?
Yeah, it was a good day. More
Nice.
so because I got some really nice fills on the hourly oversold bounce that took place on futures overnight.
You trade futures.
Um, so was there any particular setup type you were wanting examples
Mm,
of?
not really. I'm just mainly looking for equities trades. Just I don't know, some stuff. I don't really trade futures or ETFs. So
Okay. I mean, as far as the TA goes, like it's exactly the same.
the TA.
Technical analysis.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Um,
Sure.
yeah, you can trade them just as easily as you could trade Apple. It's one of
Yeah.
those where
Mostly.
futures I like because they trade overnight. Um,
Okay.
so I guess I will show off because I've been sending them to everyone. Or they're give me a sec here to go find these little examples. Never mind. We can just look at them. Might have to do a little scrolling here. One sec. Um, so
DraftKings.
yeah, these are trades from last week. I just happen to have two rather good.
All right.
Actually,
Oh,
I
you
want
make
this
some
on.
quick trades. Are these are 1 minute
What?
yeah, 1 minute candles. So
So I trade off the 2 minute chart. I'm putting it on the 1 minute just so you can see the entries a little bit better. It's
okay.
easier.
So you use 2 minute
Um,
candles, but
what?
when you trade, you use 2 minute candles.
Generally, but I use like so maybe it might be worth showing you just kind of like what I'm looking at when I'm trading.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, sorry, I did not mean to open that. Um, okay, so first off, generally, like I have this quad chart up that is basically just showing me what's going on with the market, and I try to have whatever sector I'm trading in. So I want the market going in the same direction in ideally that same sector. So like if I'm
Yeah,
trading Microsoft, I'd like QQQ to be going in the same direction that
yeah,
I'm trading Microsoft in. Just tends to give you a lot higher win rate if you've got kind of the correlation going in your favor.
yeah. I
So
usually watch for
I usually
correlation
like,
too.
so I've got QQQ, SPY, XLF, and XLV, just kind of the three biggest sectors here of SPY. And then I've got like XBI and uh, XLV if SPY is doing things I don't understand. I'll also generally look at the ADD and this is the tick, but I usually have the VLLD up. Just looking at those also for gauging trend. I don't know if you're familiar with either of these.
I'm not familiar. So
So
what
the
am I looking at?
ADD, this is the advanced decline. It's basically taking all the stocks in the market that are going up and subtracting the ones that are going down. The VOLD is the same thing, but for volume. I'm not making any decisions solely off of it or anything like that. It's just something I'll pay attention to where I generally want to see it, or just to gauge trend. ADD trending days are usually plus or minus 2,000, whatever direction it is.
All right.
But I mean, if you have like a pretty biased day, like in the upper thousands, like it is today, like that's still very strong, particularly from where it started yesterday. Um, the yellow lines here on these sectors, these are the highs and the lows of yesterday, and that's something I'll pay attention to. Just one because they'll act as support and resistance pretty frequently, and then also like for SPY to move in any one direction, you're going to need to see individual sectors breaking their highs or lows of the previous day in the same direction. Otherwise, SPY is just going to chop sideways. So seeing like multiple sectors go green over the high yesterday, that's indicative of SPY getting follow through, that sort of thing. And usually I'll start on the 2 minute chart at the open and then progress it to the 5 and the 15 throughout the morning. But a lot of my trades are pretty often based off of what's going on in the general market, coupled with where things are on the chart for the individual ticker. So this is going to be too much of a pain to scroll back to this day on the 2 minute on TradingView.
Yeah.
to go with this. But so
Yeah.
this is, and actually let me grab a blank chart here just to give you bigger picture perspective. Because as far as you were asking me like how I trade, generally if I had to like describe the style or my style of trading, it's I look for entries on smaller time frames for moves that I expect to play out on larger time frames. So I'll be playing the 2-minute chart, but I'll be looking for moves that I expect to play out on like the 15-minute up to like the 4-hour chart.
Yeah.
The 2-minute I'm just using to try to get really good entries and then therefore be able to play larger positions because my stop is closer.
Yeah. For the ultimate risk
So
reward.
I'm a big fan of oversold bounces. It's one of the trades I play a lot. One of the easier versions of that to play is when a ticker is coming off of all-time highs. Generally, the first time it hits 5-minute oversold and then hourly oversold, you're going to see a significant reaction to that just because it's been so bullish that you're going to have both retail buyers as well as algos stepping in when the RSI hits oversold, looking to go long because they missed out before.
Yeah.
And I can show you later that tends to line up with higher lows on higher time frames. Like 5-minute oversold may line up with an hourly higher low. So DKNG super bullish the past few, basically since March it's been super bullish, but broke to new all-time highs in the past couple weeks. So what this dip down here, this candle, coming off of all-time highs, this was the first time it hit hourly sold coming off that. That's right here on this hourly chart. So I was looking to go long specifically because of that. And ideally, like it's not just the hourly that I care about being oversold. I want the other time frames oversold as well, like the lower ones. So 5-minute, 15-minute were also oversold. And you want this kind of waterfall price action. If it's stair stepping down, that's not allowing the RSIs on the shorter time frames to really get overextended. And really, you want to see a big like waterfall like this where the order book just gets cleared out so that when a bottom does happen, there's no resistance on the way up in the order book. So you get a really strong reaction. So that's what so my game plan for this was basically to scale into weakness, 400 share orders. You can see I started doing that with this buy of 100 here. And then I saw on the 2-minute a nice reversal candle. And so I just market bought what I missed and then threw my stop under the bottom of that, knowing that like, okay, we probably just hit a temporary bottom. I could be wrong, in which case then I'd get stopped out and I could buy again lower if I was inclined to give it another attempt. Scaled up pretty quick because hourly oversold bounces generally play out as divergence patterns. And that's what I've got going on here with the yellow lines, to where you can see the price makes a lower low while the RSI on the shorter time frames makes a higher low.
Yeah.
So this is where the RSI and the hourly actually bottomed out, but that's not where the price bottomed out, and that's pretty common. You'll see that just if you play a lot of them. So I got out 7/8 of my position up here, got stopped out the last, I think on the new low of this break, and then just same game plan, started scaling in, got a order of 100, and then there was a really nice reversal candle again on the 2-minute, bought that, scaled out a little bit slower. You can see I held on to more of the position here because it being the second low, it's more likely to be the actual bottom. And you can see here, this is where the previous low was. It didn't drop that much lower. Like there's not a ton of follow through for the bears before that ripped back up. Any questions on that?
No, particularly just to note, your trading style is a lot different than mine. A lot more.
Could certainly be. Yeah.
Yeah, on the technical analysis. But I see you trade with quite a big size and you make a decent profit. So why do you have an overnight job apart from trading?
Because I'd want significantly better financial security, I guess. Like I'd want like several years worth of savings saved up and like probably my house paid off before giving trading a go full time. Okay. Just because I'd be interrupting my career path to do so. Where it's just risky to do, and with the hours I work, like I can trade the morning session every day, which is really when like the majority of the profit is to be made. The afternoon generally is not as good. At least not. I don't have as good of results with it. There's just not as much volatility. And my work lets me, like I'm sitting in front of a computer all night, so I can trade overnight. I can show you like the futures trades I made last night. So I'll show you. This is the exact same play, um, or same setup where you've got Workhorse coming off all-time highs, looking for first hourly oversold, trying to play a bounce. This one played out a little bit differently. So here I saw it bounce and I was a little bit late. If you actually look at my where I got filled, 24.95.
Oh,
So that's way up here.
that's quite a bad fill.
So that's pretty crappy fill.
Yeah.
It wasn't my full position size as far as like I was going to be playing around 1,000 shares. So I just took profit almost immediately. That's one where if it bounced up to here and I thought there was going to be like continuation, which coming off all-time highs, that's not unrealistic to say like, okay, it could run all the way back up to where it started the day or get hit to a new high. Then I'd be much more comfortable just like getting out here, resetting, and trying to play a higher low on the 5-minute or the 15-minute. That way I've got a clear stop level, and it just makes more sense from a risk to reward standpoint. If I had my stop way down here, that's pretty bad. The bottom of the 2-minute candle was somewhere around here. That was okay-ish if I used that. But I don't remember where I actually had it at the time. But either way, took profit pretty quick. Again, also because I'm somewhat expecting a divergence pattern to play out. So here, went in for half a position down here, basically because made a new low, got almost no follow through, and just sort of started chopping sideways. And then I ended up buying again on this candle because this looked really nice on the 2-minute and had increasing bull volume. Scaled out most of my position kind of just into strength. Stop was originally at the bottom of this candle. Rebought to get back up to a half position on this here. Again, playing the 2-minute. And so if an hourly oversold bounce is going to take place and it's going to be significant, you're going to have to see a trend change on the smaller time frames. So the 2-minute and like the 5-minute, you're going to need to see it change from a downtrend to an uptrend. So that was me. So buying here, this was basically me saying on like a nice bullish reversal candle on the 2-minute, like, okay, this is going to be our 5-minute higher low. If it's not, then I'm wrong and we're probably going to break this low down here. So when I bought here, I moved my stop for the whole position up to here. And then again, just sort of scaled out. And my targets on both of these, both the DKNG and the Workhorse trade, were just visually where I expected it to get to on the like kind of 5 and 15-minute, and just trying to front run that a little bit to be protective.
Wow, that's a lot to take in real quick. But okay.
Yeah, sorry, I know I'm kind of dumping a lot of thoughts
yeah,
at you.
but I'm processing it. It's quite an interesting strategy.
Yeah, this as far as style goes, like this is a bit of a special case, I guess. In the sense that like you don't have you're scaling into weakness 1, and you don't necessarily have a hard stop. So generally, you want to be taking profit relatively quick when you have it, so that if it's not the bottom, you have cash available to scale in more.
Yeah.
And then also, I remember I mentioned the fact that like part of my entry conditions were the fact that it wasn't just the hourly that was oversold; it was also the 5 and the 15. When there's a bounce like this here, those entry conditions are going away. Like the 5-minute RSI is no longer oversold, so my reasons for being in the trades no longer exist.
Yeah.
That's where I want to start taking profit because of that. And that's one where, because you're scaling into weakness, I generally like to sort of scale in some of my orders, and then I'll watch on the 2 and kind of 5-minute at the same time. I'll have both charts up and look for what I think is going to be a reversal candle, and then I'll buy. That'll at least give me a stop, opposed to just scaling in forever. You can just only scale in and just play what fills you get. I just feel like that's a little bit trickier. And you like, because you don't have a stop, you still need to have some level where like you just decide to give up on it from a dollar amount perspective. Because it's not a guaranteed play that it's going to bounce. I think it's high probability coming off all-time highs, first hourly oversold, just from experience. Like you almost always see a bounce, but that 1 in 10 times where you don't, or there's news or something, you don't want to just like lose a massive chunk of your account for that.
Yeah.
There needs to be some level where you're saying like, okay, this is not playing out how I expected.
You always need
get
to
out
stop loss,
and try again tomorrow.
But okay, so do you check for news beforehand? You should probably do.
Generally, yeah, but I mean that's something like news reactions are too fast as far as like bots will react faster than you can.
Yeah, that's true.
To negative headlines, so it's not something you're gonna be able to necessarily handle. It's one of those where like yeah, you should be, if you're scaling in, like have a stop in there anyway, to where like if it goes lower, and it's when and where to scale in and how to space your orders. That's largely an experience thing, and it's going to depend on the ticker, like how volatile the ticker is. There's some tickers where like you can scroll back on like things that are like really bullish, and you'll see some tickers like Tesla when it was running up, like the second it hit hourly RSI hit 30, it would bounce. Where there's other tickers where it's like I'll need for it to bounce, even if it's in an uptrend, you maybe need the hourly down in the low 20s, the 15-minute in the teens, and the 5-minute in the single digits for it to actually bounce. And that's where like when you're scaling in, you on a ticker like that, you don't want to be scaling in when the hourly RSI hits 30. You need to be waiting till it's maybe sub 25 before you even have your first order. Otherwise, you're just way too early. So that's something, if you want to play around with that this sort of style, I'd play around with it with a much smaller position than when you're just trying it out for the first time, just to kind of get a feel for it.
Would do this,
and expect to maybe be getting out of some trades break even opposed to making money. But I can show you my MNQ trade from last night, because this is kind of this one is really good. And no, actually I'll show you. Yeah, we can do this one. This one I've still got half of.
Oh.
And so I'm going to pull up.
Quite the trade. So you still have position in this?
Yeah, I've got half a position still, because this is a swing.
Okay.
Give me a sec. I don't know what happened to my big chart. Here we go. So bigger picture story. And I was looking at both the NASDAQ and SPY futures for this, but I was looking for a higher low on the daily. This was a big enough bounce that I was looking for some sort of pullback. So I was looking at like fib retracement levels, kind of like trying to figure out like, okay, where's the most likely area for it to bounce from? And just looking at both ES and NQ. I'm kind of looking at those. I wanted ES to flush through 3,300 psychological, just because that sort of thing you're going to see stops get flushed through. And that sort of coincided with hourly oversold and the 0.5 fib retracement level. If it got down to 3280, I guess I can pull that up since I'm talking about it when I thought I was going to be a little bit. That pull this up in the hourly. So 3280, like you said, that right here, this is the 0.5 fib. So I was looking for that to coincide with hourly oversold. I figured that all lines up really nicely if a higher low on the daily is going to form. And same thing, higher low on the 4-hour. So I wanted to play NQ instead of ES just because it's generally more bullish. Just wanted to play the tech sector. And so yeah, that was basically me waiting for the 5-minute, the 15-minute, and the hourly to all get oversold. And then I started basically just scaling in. So I got a fill here, got a really nice bounce. This was a big enough bounce. So I was basically trying to get, because originally my plan would be to scale like pretty slowly into positions here, into weakness. It's one of those where you don't want to get into a situation where it just falls off a cliff and you can't get out. So I got in one here. I really liked my fill, but I didn't exit, and I was kind of just waiting to see the size of the bounce. And I wanted the bounce to be large enough to tell me that, okay, most likely scenario on the bounce is going to be a higher low on like let me go back to here. Higher low on a higher time frame. So we got all the way up here. I was like, okay, this is a big enough move that a 15-minute higher low is likely to form. So you can see I bought, this was one little order here, and then I got another one here on that 15-minute higher low. This was me. Basically, the first order was like, okay, we could bull flag and get continuation. Second order was where I really wanted to get filled. And then I bought again here on this low when this candle formed. This support breaking had me a little bit hesitant on the position. But this candle here, I was like, okay, it's possible that it's just going to still reverse, like, and it's just taking a little bit longer than I was hoping for. So bought, that worked out fine. And because this is a swing, I held on to contracts a lot longer because I'm looking for, again, this to play out on the daily, to where I still on the weekly would expect a higher low relative to the all-time high, but it wouldn't surprise me like if we moved up next week as well. Just looking for further follow through over this kind of 11.53.9 level. So got out on this candle here, and then I'm still holding half of it. If the 5 minute pulls back and maybe hits oversold, I probably will rebuy at least one of those contracts. But does that sort of make sense as far as like how or like what I'm looking for when I'm saying, or when I'm looking on higher time frames and then trying to get entries on the shorter ones?
Yeah, sure. Just for the optimal entry.
Basically, yeah, so that I can play larger positions safely.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one was here. So after I bought this, if I got stopped out, like if I threw my stop at the bottom of here, I think the loss on it would still be only like $300.
Yeah.
Which like risk to reward is like, that's sick risk to reward. So like I was totally fine still buying that, just because I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be wrong some of the time here. It's gonna go lower. That's fine. I can like reset and try again for a daily high or low. There's still room if I want to play that. But the times I'm right, in this case, I was right. Like it absolutely like make up for all the times I'm wrong.
This is a significant profit. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's that. RCL was another example I played today.
So RCL, this is just a normal.
This is Royal Caribbean.
Okay.
Cruise lines were up pretty significantly today, between 4 and 8%, depending on which one it was. I've already got a swing long on NCLH, which was the most bullish, so I didn't play that. RCL was the second most bullish. So this was me just visually, like as it was pulling back, saying like, okay, most likely scenario is going to be a higher low on the 5 minute. So I just basically bought this candle when it was green, a little bit higher up here, and then just threw my stop below that. And
to me, this is quite a gamble. To me, this doesn't seem like I don't know. I would not have taken this trade. I think I'm not sure.
So cruise lines are super correlated with XLF.
Yeah. And
XLF at the time was pulling back here. This was like right around here at the same time. And this, remember these yellow lines are the high yesterday?
Yeah.
So I was looking for XLF to hold the high of yesterday potentially and bounce. That obviously did not happen.
No,
but that was
just
one thing.
Sideways.
And then also like I'm buying this and throwing a stop under here.
Yeah, sure.
So my risk on this trade was $60 and I made $153.
Yeah, small trade. Okay.
So risk to reward is still totally fine in this case.
Yeah.
It just looks weird, but it's one of those where like I'm looking at this on. So I guess I showed you that quad chart. The other charts that I have up, I keep things on. Or tickers I'm interested in on both the 5 and the hourly. So this is where I'm looking here, like, okay, what visually looks like a good area to pull back, and like, what's it got for EMA support, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay.
That's one. Yeah. Like, I mean, I'm buying so like again on the 2 minute here. So you've got all this like these sort of waterfall down, a bunch of red candles, red candles, red candles. Your first green candle is what I'm buying. Looking for that higher low on the 5 minute.
Yeah, this would not work on the 1 minute.
No, yeah, I've tried trading the 1 minute, and I get stopped out or faked out too often.
Yeah, this would never work.
The 2 minute, there's just a little bit more clarity with it.
On the
and generally,
minute,
I'll look at the 5
sense.
minute too, because I want to see candle shape on the 5 minute. To where like this is a nice green reversal candle to me on the 5 minute. To where like that seems like a nice spot to form a higher low on like the 15 minute hourly, whatever you want to call it.
So what do you think the hit rate of these kind of trades are? How many?
Depends on. I don't know.
Just a rough estimate,
you're talking about this specific setup here?
Yeah, just things like this. These trades, the percentage of win rate.
You're talking about just the win rate, not factoring in risk to reward?
Yeah, just the win rate.
Tough. Over 50, but I don't know how high I want to go with that. I would wager somewhere in the 60 to 70.
That's
but a lot of it depends on the ticker. There's plays like this that I think are a lot higher probability than others, depending on the preceding price action on higher time frames.
All right.
That's one where so I would say like, I don't know if you were trading kind of during the run up prior to the most recent pullback. During like all of this, basically, for like it was like three months straight. I basically just played bull flags every single day, looking for 15-minute bull flags, and that I would say was over 80% win rate. Okay. Just if you were playing the kind of high flyer names like Tesla, Zoom, Overstock, those kind of names where you basically could just buy any sort of pullback into the EMAs, and you'd see continuation. And often that was one where, like, in this case, XLF was not moving how I wanted it to, so I got out here. But usually this would be like where I'd scale out half and then try to hold the other half into continuation to a new high of the day.
Yeah.
So this was a little bit scaling out a little bit differently than I would have on this same type of setup on a different ticker, different day. That's one where market correlation, or like what's going on in the overall market, matters to me. XLF breaking through the high of yesterday and not really setting that higher low on the 5-minute was a red flag to me. So I was looking to get out of the trade. But that's one where I would say cruise lines were slightly more bullish than XLF. And you'll see that. So one of the things I do kind of at the beginning of the day is on the hourly time frame, I'll just go through all of the sort of tickers on my various watch lists or whatever that I've got going on here on the hourly time frame. And so like I'll go through the tech sector and look like, how do these charts look? And I'll be specifically looking for differences in them. And so I might find one day where Apple is much more bullish than QQQ, for example. Or not, sorry, hold on. I'm looking at my old trades here. So Apple could be much more bullish than the other names in the tech sector, and maybe Netflix is much weaker. That's one where if it looks like QQQ is going to run that day, maybe I want to play Apple. If it looks like it's going to break down, then maybe I want to play Netflix. And that's where you want to be cognizant of what's going on in the higher time frames on those tickers. So let's say Netflix looks like it's weaker pre-market on the hourly time frame, and I can see that it's near daily support. And as I'm watching the market action, it looks like QQQ is going to roll over. That's when where going short on Netflix makes more sense than Apple if Apple's been bullish, because I know if QQQ consolidates at all, it's going to drag Netflix down with it. If Netflix breaks its daily support, people are going to get stopped out. You're going to get a nice flush down. That's just higher probability setup.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, a lot of my decision making is based upon correlations.
Yeah, I watch for correlations, but mostly I just try to search for tickers that make like a pre-market move at least 3%, so they're not too correlated, because I like to play multiple tickers.
Sure.
Yeah. So if everything's correlated, I just get fucked sideways.
Yeah. That's when, yeah, there's times where I'll play names like and purposefully stay in positions knowing like to ignore correlation. Like, yeah, it just depends. But that's one where generally, yeah, I try to, I guess it's one of those where like I want there to be, let's say, a bullish. If I want to go bullish, I want to play a ticker that is bullishly correlated to the market, but is holding up better than the market.
Yeah.
So if the market's going up, then it's going to just drive the ticker higher. But if the market pulls back, the ticker is going to hold up better to where I can see, okay, the market's pulling back. Maybe I want to get out, break even here, opposed to if I just played the market where I'd be getting out at a loss. Does that make sense or not really?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's still a lot of information. I'll just rewatch this video just to truly understand everything. Yeah, no worries. What you have questions on anything or stuff you wanted to? I'll just look at my little list I got.
Yeah.
So we got the trading strategies. You got the trade examples. Yeah, I got like, what's your recommendation to improve in trading? Like, is there any good information out there? Because I've watched the S&B Capital YouTube videos, but
those are pretty good. But I feel like those are more like good, like psychological trading kind of tips, opposed to like showing you actual examples.
There are a couple of trade examples on there, and
yeah, there's some. like I feel like they're good at, like in terms of more trading examples.
Yeah, me too. If I watch the psychological videos of them, I just get fucking confused because they keep on talking about a lot of stuff and yeah.
Yeah, the stylistically, the chart guys is the closest to what I do. That's where I largely learned from.
Yeah.
They put out quite a bit of free content on YouTube. I would say the Boiler Room is the second best out of things. I've tried a decent number of like kind of whatever courses and chat rooms and whatnot, and those are the two that I guess I like the best. Although I did recently find this United Traders Discord that's free. That seems very good for being free. Better than most of the paid stuff, particularly on Discord. I can send you a link to that.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah, that was someone else that was in kind of that mentoring thing last weekend pointed it out, and yeah, I've been hanging out there the past few days. Seems solid. But yeah, chart guy stuff is the closest to what I'm doing stylistically. The hourly oversold bounce plays coming off all-time highs. That's one from their playbook. I can send you a video they put out on that if you want, where just different examples, their explanation might be helpful.
Yeah, sure. I'll just watch it. Do you keep
or not? You don't have to. Because yeah, you did say your style of trading is significantly different. Well, I guess what is your style?
I would call it like fucking freestyle trading. I'm not sure what to call it. I just basically like to trade the hot stocks of the day, just the gappers and the. But mainly I just watch for some sort of, resistance break, or support break, and just play off the price action in the 1 minute candles. I can show you a couple of, I can show you some trades. If you want, I would like some. How do you call it in English? Feedback.
Oh,
because,
yeah, sure.
The last month I have been making a profit, but with all the fees included, I've made quite a loss. So
no.
I trade really small positions, so I'm just fighting the broker at this moment. So
cool.
Oh, that's great. So basically,
right.
mRNA is trading up. You see this volume coming in. It sells off.
Yep.
It creates. This is all 1 minute candles, by the way.
Yep.
So it kind of creates this support, and then it creates this higher high, and then the higher low.
On the 1 minute. Yep.
So I just get in here, like with a small position, and set my stop loss just under this potential support, and then obviously I get fucked. But profit target would be like.
I don't necessarily entering there isn't terrible, but I like entering on the low before it way better. The one at I
entered.
Whatever.
Wait, I missed this trade. I was looking to get.
Yeah, that one there at like 15.47.
But I just missed it because most of the time I'm just looking for support of at least 3 1 minute candles. But this is just a quick bounce and then it just goes. So I missed the trade.
Okay.
And then this happens. So I'm just like, okay, I got a really good fill. So I got a great.
Can you still see my screen?
By
any chance, or no?
If I stop the screen share, I can.
You stopped sharing. Okay. Yeah. Can you change your chart to be the 2 minute?
Yeah, sure. Oh, I got on 2 minute.
Can you make a 2 minute if you go to edit? I had to manually create it on mine.
Edit. Aggregation time. Minute 2. Yeah, so here we go to 2 minute.
So you've got this nice move, this gap up. Sizable pullback, and then you've got a nice bullish reversal candle on the 2 minute there. But if that got away from you you could buy the higher low attempt. So you've got a 2 minute doji candle. I think you could buy the top of that breaking and throw your stop at the bottom of it.
Wait,
I don't know if you know follow what I'm talking about.
No, not at all.
Okay, so scroll slowly to the left, and I'll tell you the timestamp of the candles I'm talking about. So one candle before that.
Yeah, so this doji.
Yep. So that doji there, when the top of that one breaks on the next candle, the one to the right,
So here.
that one, I think you can market buy the break of that, throw your stop at the bottom of that, and you have a nice 2-to-1 risk reward.
To the all-time or the daily high.
No, like you can scale out half, maybe, or like depends on what you're looking for. You can take profit on the whole thing if you think it most likely scenario is a lower high, which possible, or you scale out half kind of near the top and then hold the other half for looking for continuation.
Yeah.
And in that case, you just get stopped out, break even on the trade, or maybe small loss, small win.
Yeah, with the commissions, I just the commissions are eating me alive with this small account. I bought this small account just to learn because I'm just new to trading, you know. But the commissions are way too high. It's like
how is the spread?
The spread is fucking great. If I put a market order, I just get filled on the cent. So.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, I really like this broker. It's a CFD broker, so I got no actual shares, but yeah, as far as the broker, I really like this platform. It's from TradeNet. It's a small intro package, but you can also just buy a account with Colmex for everyone interested.
But that's one where, so go to the 5-minute time frame here.
Yeah.
So this one, a lot of my entries are where I'm looking for like the most likely scenario. So with that size of a move up, most likely scenario is going to be a high or low on the 5-minute. Depending on how much pullback you get, it's going to determine whether or not it's going to be more of a bull break or a bull flag equilibrium, or like you're just wrong and it's breaking down. It's going to be kind of just a whole fake out. In this case, the pullback was significant enough that you'd be looking for so if it did bounce, you'd expect a high or low relative to the high of the day.
Wait, so after this pullback, you want a high or low above the high of the day?
Let me switch back to me real quick.
Yeah, I gotta stop screen sharing
then. Am I still screen sharing?
Yeah, I can see everything.
Okay. Let me get my pen tool here. So when you've got this big of a move up here, the amount of pullback is going to determine like what I'm looking for. So you say pullback here, and you only get pullback to here. Continuation bull flag is going to be the most likely scenario.
Yeah.
When it pulls back this much, I'd still expect a bounce relative to this low down here at 71.60, but I'm going to expect a higher low relative to the high of the day. Just because there's the percentage moves that have to occur.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So that's one where on the 2-minute I was talking here, if you were going to buy the break of this, I'd be pretty inclined to take at least half profit, if not 2/3, prior to the high of day resistance, just because I know on the 5-minute, most likely scenario is going to be a higher low. And then if we want continuation, then it would be this sort of thing where you've got your high, pullback, higher, low.
Lower high.
Lower high, higher low, then higher high. The fact that it went lower down here and broke down, then like you're done with the trade kind of thing. It's no longer, you're not looking for continuation.
Well, actually, I took a second trade, which also failed because it faked. At least I'll screen share it again, otherwise it's confusing as fuck. So I've noticed the last couple of days. Let's see. So Space did this recently, the ticker Space. It forms, you see it selling off, and then it...
you said Space?
Yeah, I mean... But still, I took the trade in mRNA just because I saw a little pattern forming. So it just makes, indeed, so it breaks this, it makes a new support, then breaks the support, and then it just retakes the support. And the last couple of days I've quite often seen it just run up after this. Just if it retakes the support, it was a bear trap, and I see the stock just running up to high of the day.
You're talking about those. It's tough for me to comment on just because I don't look at the 1-minute charts enough to say whether or not that happens a lot.
Today there was just too little momentum. This was just it was just going sideways and then just broke again. This is just going nowhere. So
Yeah,
I'm not touching this again. But in like wait, why is it? All right. So I did not trade this ticker today, but I traded it when it gapped up, and I fucked that up too. I'm just over trading right now, so I need to be more disciplined. Why is it not showing the whole? Okay. This is just the scaling of this software is not there yet. Okay, so it gapped up. I saw this volume spike.
Okay.
Which was
let's see.
Really,
that's the 28th.
Yeah.
Of September.
This was Monday, I think, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So this was gapping up. It's trending up. I saw this volume coming in. It just sold off. I got in on this third candle, I believe, with only 30 shares. And then I just sold into strength, which was.
I mean, position size. It showed all be relative to your account size.
Yeah, I know, but this was just a minimal trade comparing to the move what came up. So this is just in the back of my head when I saw mRNA today. So, but clearly this did not happen twice.
You're talking about the support like thing on the 1 minute.
No, just after the pullback, it continuing higher. That's where my initial trade plan was, but it didn't happen. But yeah, the move on mRNA were quite substantially bigger. So this.
So where did you enter and exit here?
I entered just like 43, I believe. So I got a quite good entry, and then I just.
Oh, you got a really nice entry then.
Just at the top. I only got like €8 profit. So it was minimal, but I was a decent trade. But the week before, the previous week, I just completely
it's still really good entry. I'm trying to see what this looks like on
I'm just
the 5 minute time frame.
Wait on a second.
Okay, that's when.
I'm back now.
Sorry, what?
Yeah, I just left for a quick second.
Okay, so yeah, you had big gap up, pushed up initially, tried to get continuation, and pulled back. Yeah.
Just look at the fucking volume. Crazy volume coming in.
Yeah, that is ridiculous, actually.
Yeah. Way out of proportion. So after I saw that little pullback, I was like, yeah, this is going higher.
Yeah, actually, if you look at the volume on the 5 minute and look at the previous days before it at the open, it's like 4 times the normal amount of volume.
Wait, why is it not showing this? Yeah.
Like just comparing open to open?
Yeah, it's insane.
That's insane.
But yeah, I just take quite random trades. Although I did manage to be profitable, gross profit, but with the commissions, I ended up being at a substantial loss compared to my.
Yeah, are there any brokers you can trade that don't have commissions? Just okay.
Where did we leave the conversation?
I think I was just asking you about commissions on
if
there's another broker
like,
or something that.
$1.50 per ticket. So if I enter, it costs me $1.50, and if I exit, it costs me $1.50.
Okay, that's
pretty good, actually.
Or but it's not great considering there's free ones out.
I
used to pay $5 up to TD Ameritrade in and out.
Damn. I could not find any free brokerages in Europe. So.
What country are you in?
I'm in the Netherlands.
Okay. I know at least in the UK, TD Ameritrade's available, and they're free.
TD Ameritrade, okay.
That's the one that I use.
Yeah, I'll have a look after this conversation.
Yeah, look at them, or maybe just ask in the day trading subreddit, see if there's any free brokers people are aware of that like are not just phone apps or something that like where you actually have a platform to trade on.
Just quickly, yeah. So I trade a lot of AMD, and I noticed it
Okay.
forms quite often. It forms double tops.
I traded AMD twice yesterday, I think.
Oh. So let's see. I don't remember when day this was, but yeah. So I think it's this one. But yeah, when I see just this almost V shape happening and it's at a daily high, I tend to try to short the to look for double top. It also.
Oh yeah, that's a good like low or like really good risk to reward setup.
Yeah, probably like I don't know, like with 100 shares and like a 10 cent stop or something.
Hmm.
I get pretty good entries. Like, let's see, I got filled like 98 or something. So, yeah, with 10 cent stop, you have a little bit of room for a spike, if it not continues. But yeah, so yeah, it's this day. So I shorted at 98. That's here, and then I saw it falling just like planned,
Hmm.
and then it almost reclaimed the top. So I just sold right at this top of this 1 minute candle, and then obviously
no.
it just fucking went. So that was unfortunate.
Yeah, that's one where I think it'd be beneficial to at least monitor like the 5 minute chart or something. It's one of those where I feel like on smaller time frames, I mean, even on the 2 minute, I catch myself doing this where it looks like the 2 minutes super extended in one direction. I want to take profit, but then I zoom out and realize like, oh, this is actually like just totally normal price action on like the 15 minute chart.
Yeah, yeah. To be honest, I should not have exited there. I should just hold on, but I got too scared.
Hmm.
I have a habit of.
And if that's the case, and I don't know if that like at that point like the trade was negative. That's when we're like,
No, it wasn't.
if you,
So, but in
oh,
case
okay.
it was, oh, sorry.
I guess I was just gonna say like potentially,
Yeah,
if you are like too worried about it, going against you, that's one where maybe like make sure your position size is not too large. Because I know I've had that where like I've tried to take too large of positions and I've been correct on the direction, but I've stopped myself out too early because I've just had too tight of a stop, basically.
yeah,
Because I was trying to keep the stop or like keep the dollar amount reasonable
yeah. I've
when I could have just used less shares and had a good trade.
All right. Yeah, I've quite the habit of just cutting my winners too early, and then also when trading, I traded space yesterday. I was again looking for a long position after the open. You see this fucking sell off. I had no
Hmm.
reason. I think there was no reason for this sell off. So I saw this support forming. Then I think I got long at like I got a really good fill again, and then I got long and just held on and it just faked me out. And then I Jesus Christ, I revenge traded. Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, and then because I'm a total idiot, I shorted it at the bottom,
Oh
and
no.
then I doubled down at the resistance, and then I got absolutely demolished. So that was unfortunate, but yeah, I should have just kept on to my plan. I mean, this is again, it breaks support, it fakes, it reclaims the support, and then it just runs. That's what I was trying to do with the mRNA today.
So this one here, this is one where like I would have been looking for the opposite direction for the trade.
You logging
Zoom
for
out to
short,
the hourly chart.
2 hourly.
Yep. So it's the
This Yeah, it
29th.
was this candle.
Uh, Wait, why does our charts look massively different? Hold on.
This is the 1 day chart. Oops. Yeah, this is the hourly.
Okay. So you've got this massive move up, like considering like if you include the gap and whatnot,
Yeah, it's a massive move.
to where at that point, so now going to the go to the 5 minute chart, I'd be with that big of a move up, I'd be looking to buy first 5 minute oversold. I guess you don't have the RSI on
No,
here,
just
but basically where it bottoms out, that's you get 5-minute oversold RSI.
I.
So that's where I'd be looking to for
Let's
a
see.
bounce play.
Um,
And it's sort of doing that where it like touches and then goes.
so this is the sell-off, and then
Yep.
it hit 30. So wait, what were you trying to tell me?
So just that I would be looking long in this case. I think because you said you like revenge traded short.
Yeah, that was. I didn't really mean to go short. It was just really fucking
Oh,
stupid of me. I should have just stick to my original plan and going long. It was just a bad habit of me.
gotcha.
Yeah, that was not the plan at all. I don't know why I did that. I do some stupid stuff lately, so I try to mitigate it and become a better trader.
Sure.
Yeah,
No, definitely. Yeah.
yeah,
Being good at trading is like a lot of it's like just like breaking bad habits. I feel like.
yeah. I thought I had it like 2 weeks ago. I had a decent week. When I looked at
Uh,
my P&L, it wasn't really a decent week, but I thought it was. But at least, yeah, last week has been the toughest week so far. I've been training for 4 months now, of 2 months, so I'm just
mhm.
quite fresh still. But
Yep.
yeah, so I'm just trying to kill all the bad habits.
Mhm. I would. So are you just sort of trading on your own, or are
I
you like
am
in a
until
chat
now.
room or
This is the
watching a live stream or anything?
I'm completely trading on my own.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Um, might consider. Yeah, which actually that United trading one I sent you is
yeah.
would be decent for that, at least as far as free stuff goes. To just hang out there and listen to their live stream, or just listen in there. So if you click the little thumbs up buttons on all of the things.
These?
It's like a bot filtering. Yeah, click the thumbs up on all of those.
Wait, it's not letting me press them right now.
I think maybe the one above.
Yeah, I pressed it.
There, there's three of them. I mean,
What? Oh, you mean these? What? I'm confused now.
oh, I guess scroll to the top of this thing. See what it
Ah,
says. You actually got to do.
yeah, yeah. I'll do this.
Yeah, that'll actually like let you get in. But yeah, you have to like click the right thing on like multiple little questions. It's a little interesting. I think it's just to prevent bots.
Yeah. Okay.
Uh, but yeah, you'll see like a whatever room with a bunch of people in there on voice. Most people are silenced, but they've got like some experienced traders who are actually kind of just basically chatting the whole day, calling out their trades and setups they see. And that's one where like I don't think it'd be a bad idea to just straight up copy what they're doing, um, and just from that, like I think if you just do that on a regular basis, you'll eventually start to figure out like why they're entering when they are, and like that's one where like you can like feel free to go ahead and like pester them, like be like, I like you entered here, like well, like why specifically, like what was your go signal? That was kind of how I started out to where like. I mean, I did kind of my own sort of trying trades that I thought made sense, but I feel like it didn't really start clicking till I started copying other people's stuff who I knew were good traders, and yeah, just figuring out what they were specifically looking for in different scenarios, and then like it got to a point where I could start seeing those same entries myself,
Yeah.
and I'd find them before they did that. That was kind of like confirmation that like okay, I know what I'm doing now, opposed to just sort of flailing around, kind of trying to take trades that I think are good when they may not be. So where like trade reviews are definitely helpful as far as like just asking other traders like, hey, what do you think of this trade? Here's where I entered. Here's what I was thinking. Here's why I took profit or got stopped out. Like, was it good? Because there was definitely trades where like I've made money on, and I've shown them to other traders, and they're like, this is actually a really bad trade. You just got lucky, and here's why.
Yeah.
So that's something I think. Yeah, just getting more feedback would definitely be helpful for you.
Yeah. Sure.
Learning on your own is just tough.
Yeah, it's been pretty tough until now. I mean, now I got to speak to you, which is quite nice.
Mm.
But yeah, that's definitely. I should probably look for some trading friends and so.
Hmm. Yeah, I've got kind of through the same group or that chart guys group. I've met some traders through there, and we just do daily conference calls where we meet before the market. We usually try to bring 2 or 3 setups each that we think are are good and just kind of go over trades we made yesterday. And then we'll just take a short break and then resume the call at the open, and then usually just kind of do the call, at least for the morning session, where people will just call out setups they see and just usually call out like, hey, I entered here, exiting here, kind of just to hold each other accountable.
All right. So this group you're with, these are all technical analysis traders.
Opposed to like fundamental analysis investing? Or?
Well, no, I mean like your trading style. How am I gonna explain this?
Oh, like same trading style?
Yeah.
No, I would say similar, but there's enough differences to get value out of those differences. And we all tend to trade slightly different sectors. I would say like me and the one other guy like are very similar trading styles. The other two guys are a bit different. One of them in particular uses a lot of Elliott wave kind of Fibonacci retracement or Fibonacci extension kind of stuff. And that's cool to see as far as just we'll maybe be looking at the same setup and we'll come to the same conclusion. We'll just get there in different ways.
Yeah, okay.
And that's just nice to see that confirmation of like two different trading styles where we're seeing the same entries. But yeah, definitely just having other people or just even a chat room where people are calling out setups. Like it takes a while to get good enough to the point where you can determine if someone posts a setup, is this actually a good setup that you'd want to take or not? But once you get to that point, that can definitely be helpful. Like I would say at least half of the trades that I take are not setups that I find on my own throughout the day. If I take an average of like 4 trades, I'd say probably half of them are things that I either run across in a chat room or that one of the guys I'm on a conference call with mentions as a possibility. And that's one where like I'm not going to take everything suggested and whatnot. That's one where you gotta depends on like the timing of like when you get the information and just like whether or not you think it's good. There are definitely setups that are called out that even in the people I conference call with that I don't take because I disagree.
Yeah.
A lot of times I'll mention on Light where had that today. I think someone was, what was it? Oh, I forget the ticker. Whatever they were wanting to do made sense on a shorter term time frame, but I hated it on the hourly. Like it didn't seem high probability on the hourly time frame. I just mentioned that to him, and it was one of those where it's like, hey, if they still want to take the trade, that's go for it. But I wasn't going to copy it, kind of thing.
All right. So I'm just.
But
okay,
that's an experience thing.
Yeah. Okay. Do you still see my screen share?
Yep.
So I'm curious, why do you think mRNA failed today to move higher from the initial push up? I mean, there's a minimal volume. Well, minimal. I mean, compared to the open.
mRNA, what is going on? So it did get over daily resistance. So why it didn't go higher today, actually, I have no idea. It wouldn't have surprised me if it continued higher today. What is the biotech sector doing, I guess? Biotech sector is up today, so...
yeah, I was quite confused why I got... why I failed 2 times.
Yeah, no clue. I think you could have managed the trade... or like gotten in on that pullback, though, and like gotten out either with profit or worst case break even, depending on where you were putting your stops.
Yeah, I could have definitely entered here, but just...
that's one where I think you enter there, and then so there's that higher low that tries to form on the 1 minute a little bit later. Not there. Nope, too far. Right, that area. Let me, I guess, find it on the timestamp.
You mean
9:56 for me? I don't know what that is for you. Probably something 56. Go forward in time.
56.
Right around there. That's where I think on that candle, on that little push up, you can move your stop up from where you entered. If you had entered on the where I talked about before, and then get stopped out.
If it fails. Yeah.
If it fails, yeah, because I think that's where if you're going to see continuation back to a new high of the day, that there, needs to. Yeah, you need to see.
Yeah, if this fails, the whole trend breaks. Yeah.
Yep. So that's one where I think you can enter kind of where I mentioned, get out half, and then move your stop up once that higher low attempt forms, and then just get stopped out, and then you walk away with some amount of profit on that.
Yeah, the loss was minimal. So, I mean, I got the risk reward was quite good. I think the risk reward for this first trade I took around here was like 1 to 5, and the second one, yeah, I don't really know what the risk reward was. I mean, the risk was minimal, but I have no clue where I would have exited, just depending on what trend formed and if the trend broke. So
that's when I think if you get stopped out there, you have the option of going short.
yeah, I was
And that's
really
when where I'd be
tempted,
targeting.
really tempted to go short here, but I didn't do it.
Yeah, that would have worked out really well.
Yeah, just because of the revenge trading I did yesterday with Space. I didn't want to repeat history and fuck up again, so I didn't do it.
Oh.
But yeah.
Yeah, no, I think you go short there and you put your stop over just the high of that couple, right near where your mouse is, like 2 or 3 to the left. Couple to the right. Red candle, upper wick.
What?
Let me, I guess, find.
Huh?
I think it's like right at like 10 o'clock for
10
me.
o'clock. Yeah,
Right there.
this kind of line.
That one.
Yeah, I'm just with the horizontal line of my crosshair. I'm just touching it. That's what I thought.
Oh,
Yeah,
no, I was wanting the vertical. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So I think you can short the break of that
Yeah, if this
high or low attempt, and then throw your stop at the top of that candle, and then you've got nice risk to reward there. I think you maybe take some profit before getting back to that low right around the 73.12 on my chart. I don't know what it is on yours.
well, the tricky part with this is where would you enter? I mean, if this little trend broke, I guess you could enter around here on the sell-off.
Down slightly.
Yeah,
There,
just
that's where I'd
under the
enter.
support. But then it's just almost like, yeah, it's a 1-on-2 risk reward trade. I mean, the probability of this going lower is quite substantial. I mean, yeah, if this support breaks and this upwards move breaks, yeah, this would just, yeah.
Yeah, I mean the like probability almost like, which I think it's decent there. That's almost like less of a concern if you're still getting 2 to 1 risk to reward.
Yeah.
Because then even if you're 50%, you're making money.
Yeah.
So I think it's more about choosing your entries, choosing good entries.
Yeah, over risk reward. I mean, you could just do whatever with your risk reward and say it's 1 to 100, but if the trade is bad, it's never gonna happen.
Sure. Yeah. No. Definitely, you want a couple good risk reward with high probability setups. We're just saying, even if like you thought it was like somewhat questionable, I think you can still make an argument for taking it, I guess.
Yeah, this would not have been a bad short, obviously, with hindsight. But even if you didn't know what was going on, yeah, I mean, I would just call for low of day. Or
it's one where it
like,
really, for how high of a probability the setup is, to me, it really depends on what's going on higher time frames. So in this case, mRNA is actually pretty bullish on the
5 minute. Wait, no.
No, when I'm talking about like hourly through the daily, when I'm talking higher time frames.
Oh yeah, sure. I got the daily in a little tab above me.
This is one, just looking at this chart on the daily, like I'd be much more inclined to take bullish plays than bearish plays.
Yeah, I looked at the daily too, and I was like, yeah, this should just continue up. I mean, there was good news, gapped up. We got this big move with big volume. It did a little pullback. I was really expecting this to go higher, but it didn't, obviously. But yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm a little surprised looking at what the overall market and in particular biotech is doing today, that it did not push up higher.
Yeah. To be honest, I should probably... I don't know. What do you think about this second trade? I mean, it obviously forms some sort of support here, and then it just breaks the support, and it forms a little bear trap and reclaims support, and then it just goes sideways. But I entered around here. What do you think of that trade?
Long?
Yeah, I went long. It reclaimed the support, so it was like, yeah, I saw this happen with Space yesterday, and
this is one where, at least for as far as my own trading style goes, I probably wouldn't be taking it just because of it's not following along with the biotech sector.
oh, okay.
So I'd be watching the biotech sector's just been ripping today. Like that's I don't know, is that even at all? No, not at all time highs, but like I mean, it's up substantially today. It's basically just
So,
been going straight up.
what's the biotech? The SPY and then
XBI is biotech.
wait, X
XBI.
XPI.
No, B is in boy.
Oh, B.
Yep.
XPI.
So this is what biotech is doing today. So I'd be watching biotech at the same time as I was trading mRNA and seeing that okay, biotech's and like really the entire market today is just going up consistently, and this is not. That would be kind of a red flag just for trading it, I guess.
Yeah.
Particularly after like I'd already gotten stopped out. Like I wouldn't really be wanting to go long because you'd expect the correlation of the biotech to drag all the tickers within it up.
Yeah, yeah. I'm watching the SPY and the daily time frame. I got like 4 monitors here, so.
So the reverse is true too. So if I'm watching XBI and I see it's getting to an area of resistance, it looks like it's going to roll over. That's one where maybe I'd go short mRNA because I expect biotech to drag it down.
Yeah.
I have got to run here. I think you don't you typically have dinner, you said?
Yeah, I'm like in 20 minutes, but thank you for your time.
Okay. I guess you got any other questions?
Yeah, like, do you keep a trading journal?
I did when I first started like 3 years ago. I don't really anymore. I just do a lot of trade review kind of stuff with other traders,
Yeah.
just kind of looking over trades that I make.
Right.
No, I've got a spreadsheet I'm working on that I'm trying to make to sort of determine like, am I more profit like for each specific setup that I like to trade? Am I more profitable with a 1 to 1.5, 1 to 2, 1 to 2.5 risk reward
Yeah.
to try to figure out, to try to just kind of tease a little bit more profit out. But the way that I tend to scale in and out of positions makes it difficult to track that. I've got the spreadsheet like where I can calculate what I want, but I'm looking at like a cost averaged entry versus a cost average exit in terms of risk to reward, and then just manually entering it takes forever. So I haven't been using it too much, but
All right.
something that I'm working towards, I guess.
One final question. How did you start off trading like 3 years ago, you said? What did you have the same style of trading? How was the experience?
No, so I got started off with crypto. I bought some way back in 2013 and just kind of forgot about it, and then Bitcoin ran up in 2017, so I started trading that.
Yeah.
And then I joined the chart guys because they had a small crypto trading room at the time, and then traded that up to like summer 2018, and then switched over to exclusively stocks and futures.
So I was
Mostly because I just got sick of dealing with the taxes of crypto.
okay. Yeah, I have the feeling like algorithms are better at trading cryptos and currencies like for forex. So I try to avoid. I just exclusively trade equities because I think I have a better chance at them.
Mm.
So
Definitely. And I think there's definitely like easy money to be made if you can find sectors that are just easy to trade. So I'd say like crypto 2017, super bullish. That was a great example of that. The way down, if you could get a broker where you could short, that was also really good money. The Canadian marijuana sector 2018, that was basically free money to where I would say there was months in a row, like basically every day you could buy any sort of pullback at the open on CGC or buy a new break to the high of the day. And I would say it was probably like 80 to 90% probability if you bought a new high of the day on CGC that you would like be successful with a 2-to-1 risk reward, if not like much more than that. To where like I would just constantly I'd market buy that, have a stop auto put in at 20 cents below, and like I'd just look for at least a 40-cent move. And that was just kind of free money. That's one where like you can make money in different sectors, but if you can find areas like that where like there's a lot of hype and just bullish momentum, it makes it so much easier. Tesla this year was like that as well, to where
yeah,
I think Tesla's my most profitable ticker by far.
I got a little profit of Tesla. I'm not sure actually. I swing traded Tesla once just on the battery hype, and I made 10% in one day. I just bought one share on it's an investment brokerage, but I just randomly bought one share before battery day and ran up 10%, and I took profit there. So.
Oh, that was good because it sold off after.
Yeah. I was just I was almost thinking of just like Wall Street bets, YOLOing, going full retard and buying a shitload of Tesla for the battery day. I didn't. yeah, I should. I was like, yeah, this is not going anywhere. If I keep doing that, I will lose my account. So
Yeah, good you didn't.
yeah,
Though.
I was like, Elon almost always delivers on good news. So I was like, I was really
surprised. I was
tempted.
expecting it to be a lot better news
Yeah,
than it
I
was.
was suspecting. I mean, if you look at the history of Tesla, it just makes these massive moves on good news. So I was like, I was so tempted to do it because I was like, this. If this plays out, I'm gonna be happy with quite a lot of money. So.
Yep.
But I'm glad I didn't. I mean, okay. Final question. Do you have any idea what happened to Nicola today? There's some big buyer coming in, I guess. What happened? It totally ripped.
No, but I mean, Nicola's.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
That's not a stock I would touch, just with all their fraud stuff going on.
I like to play Nicola. Just
I did. Yeah, someone posted some news about it. It didn't seem that bullish to me, but I assume it's reacting to that. I'd have to go digging for it.
I only like to.
There was some news that their PR team put out. I think it was their timeline for vehicle production, like kind of what their their 3-year roadmap is.
So you think this is just good news coming out and just ripping?
Possibly, yeah. Or I guess let me look on what does it look like on the 4-hour. I mean, it also is just like trying to form a higher low on the daily. It's one of those where you can have a stock that like is clearly going to zero, which Nicola I would say is close to being in that category. And people will still buy it and trade it, and technical analysis will still work to some extent on it.
I only like to play Nicola for shorts. I also have the feeling I'm substantially better at shorting stocks than going long, which is weird.
It's possible. I would say, like, I mean, Bitcoin, I mentioned, like, I didn't make a ton of money, or as much as I should have on the way up. I made way more money on the way down just because I was a better trader and I was able to short it.
Yeah, this seems like a decent trade right now. It's shorting space. I mean, just move below the daily low.
I gotta run though, so I will.
Yeah, thank you for your time.
Talk to you later. Yeah, no problem.
All right. Goodbye.
Have a good one.
Have a nice day.